Muy buenas a todos, chicos y chicas, ¿qué tal estáis? Bienvenidos a una nueva aventura y bienvenidos a una serie que a mí personalmente pues tenía muchísimas ganas de traer. Tenía muchísimas ganas de traer la saga, por fin, y esa saga es Metal Gear Solid. Y obviamente lo voy a hacer de la manera un tanto especial. Y es decir, es que quiero traeros la saga de forma cronológica. Es decir, empezando desde 1964, que es donde se desarrolla Metal Gear Solid 3, terminando con Metal Gear Solid 4, que es el último cronológicamente, ¿no? De años. Aunque en realidad terminaría en Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, que también me gustaría traerlo al canal, que es para mí un pedazo de juego. Y bueno, vamos a empezar con este Metal Gear Solid 3, la saga. Estoy jugando desde PlayStation Now, ¿vale? El servicio de streaming de Sony, de PlayStation. Ya lo he probado, tengo un montón de juegos que me gustaría grabar, que me gustaría traer gracias a este servicio, porque me ahorran el tener que comprarlos. Y la verdad es que va bastante bien el streaming. El servicio streaming va muy bien. Responde estupendamente. Ya he probado varios juegos y a mí por lo menos el internet me responde perfectamente. Sí, es verdad que a lo mejor la calidad gráfica no es un poquito menor, un poquitito menor que si se viera en Play 3. Y de vez en cuando, si el internet quiere, pues a lo mejor hay un pequeño lag puntual, pequeñísimo, que no molesta y no te arruina partidas. Con lo cual, yo creo que el servicio es bastante decente. No es porque me guste Sony. He criticado también muchas veces a Sony, que hace muchas cosas mal y tiene tela. Pero cuando lo hace bien, oye, yo el primero en darle la enhorabuena. Así que vamos a empezar una nueva partida. Y aquí, básicamente, esto es para decirte los niveles de dificultad. Y es, por ejemplo, estoy jugando la serie de Metal Gear Solid por primera vez, ¿eh? Es decir, nunca he tocado. Esto es para los que nunca hemos tocado Metal Gear Solid. Me gusta Metal Gear Solid 1, que es para lo que solamente jugamos Metal Gear Solid 1 en Play 1. Me gusta Metal Gear Solid 2, que es para los que jugamos el 2. Y me gusta Metal Gear Solid 3. Es decir, es para los que ya hayamos rejugado el 3. Yo estoy entre elegir o el 2 o el 1, aunque yo obviamente me los he jugado todos. Estoy por elegir el 2 o el 1. Y voy a elegir el 2, porque el 2 es de mis favoritos. Y ahora... No, mentira. Si dices me gusta Metal Gear Solid 2, creo que tienes la máscara de Raiden. Y nos va a venir genial. Voy a elegir Metal Gear Solid 2. Y podemos elegir, obviamente, muy fácil, fácil, normal y difícil. Yo voy a elegir normal, ¿vale? El nivel de dificultad estándar. Luego está el nivel extremo y extremo europeo. Ese sí que es chungo. El extremo europeo, te cagas. Voy a elegir normal. Ah, y por cierto, esta es la versión de Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, creo que se llama. No recuerdo muy bien cómo se llama. Que trae los Metal Gear antiguos. Que era de la Neo Geo. Creo que eran de la Neo Geo, que es Metal Gear y Metal Gear Solid Snake, que es Metal Gear 2. Pero esos juegos no los vamos a jugar, porque me resultan los más complicados de la saga, obviamente. No estoy muy familiarizado con el tema tan retro. Y cuando juguemos Metal Gear Solid 1 vamos a tener un pequeño vídeo de introducción en el que vamos a leer qué es lo que pasó en esas dos misiones, en esos dos juegos. Así que no os preocupéis, que sabréis lo que ocurre en Metal Gear y en Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Así que vamos a darle al normal y vamos a empezar. Y si me disculpáis, tengo alergia, así que...
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
The Cold War. Me encanta imitar a David Hayter. Y Metal Gear Solid 3 tiene una de las mejores intros de un puto videojuego, al menos para mí. Este Metal Gear Solid 3 está inspiradísimo en las películas de James Bond, pero inspiradísimo, ¿eh? en la intro, en las canciones. Brutal. Para mí, brutal. Y una de las épocas que más me gustan de la historia, la Guerra Fría.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off. Commencing internal depressor station. Our main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
He elegido Metal Gear Solid 2 porque esta máscara que llevamos puesta nos va a venir bien en un punto de la trama, ¿vale? Es por facilitarme un poquito las cosas. Y es una troleada de Kojima también, porque la... Piltrafa, ojo. Porque en Metal Gear Solid 2 hubo un cambio de protagonista, quitando Solid Snake por Raiden. Y mucha gente no le gustaba Raiden para nada, porque a Kojima por esta época le gustaba tocar mucho los cojones. Y a la gente no le gustaba para nada, Raiden. Sin embargo, yo aquí voy contracorriente. Y es que a mí sí me gustó Raiden. Lo siento. Y Harry Gregson Williams con su pedazo de música. Va, pedazo de compositor, tío.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
Esta intro es que me pone a mí los pelos de punta, tío. Yo lo flipé cuando lo compré en Play 2.
Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill. 1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear. Activate bailout.
Buah, tío.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
El primer salto Halo del mundo, ¿sabes?
10 seconds.
Que son los saltos en paracaídas en un avión, en territorio enemigo.
Status okay. All green. Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Ahora, eso sí, tened paciencia, porque en este juego y en toda la saga Metal Gear hay un viaje de cinemáticas.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken.
Imaginaos eso, en
The
aquella
rocket that
época.
carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
Los misiles de Cuba.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Buah.
October the 16th.
Es que me encanta todo este tema de la Guerra Fría y demás. Es que me encanta, tío.
Word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The president demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
A
Sokolov.
Sokolov.
They wanted us to return Sokolov.
Aquí entra ya la ficción, ¿vale?
The Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yas, a place in the mountains about 3
Cuando
miles
digo que son
west.
cinemáticas largas, son cinemáticas largas, no estoy de broma.
Virgin Cliffs.
Tened mucha paciencia con Metal Gear.
Name for a virtual
Hay mucha información y mucha cinemática y no me gusta hablar durante ellas.
Why?
Apparently,
Estoy
they're
tan atento
conducting
como
a field
vosotros.
test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Y todavía no han acabado las cinemáticas, ojo. Bueno, y los codec, las llamadas codec también son muy largas, ¿eh?
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West.
Esa es nuestra misión, traer a Sokolov de
If we
vuelta.
don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
Hay algunas escenas que si pulsas R1, aunque no,
Once we've confirmed
aunque no
the
salga en la
rescue of
pantalla,
Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery
se...
balloon will be
ahí,
dropped
vale.
at that point.
Mira,
Helium will be pumped into the
ahí había
balloon
un
to
símbolo
inflate
de
it.
Fox.
The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well,
Poquito
it shouldn't
tiempo.
take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
si sale mal, nosotros no sabemos nada, literalmente no sabemos nada de ti, te dan por culo. Nosotros nunca hemos estado aquí. Mala suerte, amigo. Esa es literalmente la misión de infiltración. Estados Unidos aquí no tiene nada que ver. Si te pillan, adiós. Qué bien, y nos dejamos la mochila. Hace muchos años que no juego un Metal Gear, ¿eh? Voy a ser muy manco. Pero que muy, muy manco. Jack, David Hayter, con la máscara de Raiden. Vale. Ahora es cuando tenemos nosotros el control. ¿Veis cómo no se ve? Se ve un poquito peor que en Play 3. Un poquitito peor. Tenemos en las opciones, que son las... Esto de supervivencia. Voy a hacer... Es que no hay... No hay modo de sonido, así que es la putada. Tenemos un mapa de la zona. Tenemos la comida, que es básicamente... un calorie mate. Luego tenemos aquí el codec. Vamos a la llamada.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory. Somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. Oh, and Snake.
Yeah,
The crew isn't watching anymore. You can take off the disguise now.
good idea. This isn't right. Time for the snake to shed his skin.
En plan de no me queda bien esta cara, ¿no? Pues voy a quitármela ya, la mascarita. Esto fue una coña, tío. Para los que odiaban a Raiden. Kojima era muy suyo, ¿vale? Pero sí, este es la verdadera cara de Solid Snake. Ay. Perdón por los ruidos de papel. Pero es que con tanta cinemática larga me voy a hacer una cachimba para paliar el rato. Porque ahora vienen unas conversaciones de codes bastante largas. Llevamos 20 minutos y todavía no hemos ni jugado.
Can you hear me, Major Tom? This is Snake. Kept you waiting, huh?
Kept you
This
waiting,
will be a
huh?
sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah.
La mochila, sí, la que se me, la que se me
I
enganchó.
lost 3 on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. Do you know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action
Sí, vale.
button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85.
Ok.
I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Vale, vamos a coger primero la mochila. Que estaba... aquí. No. Ahí está. Era círculo, cuadrado, triángulo, triángulo. Ahí está. ¡No! ¿Qué haces, Snake? Ahí está. Triángulo. Ahí. Ya está. Otra más del codec.
I see you've
Por
retrieved
cierto,
your
os voy a dejar aquí la
backpack.
información de Mayor Tom, ¿vale? ¡Ah!
To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take
Por
it out
Dios.
of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip.
Todo
and
esto me
press
lo
the
sé,
enter button.
Mayor Tom, no te
For
preocupes.
other equipped items, just do the same thing from item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right.
Que sí, que sí.
Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this, anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your
Voy
presence.
a poner el aire.
No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an
Tú
international
imagínate,
incident.
un americano en
Can't
Rusia
let anyone see you.
en plena Guerra Fría.
Can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. There'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself,
Sí,
huh?
totalmente.
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She?
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short.
John
You're
Doe
regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield.
es el nombre que se le dan a la gente que no tiene
What's
nombre.
your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
Ok.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserve.
Ella es la que se encarga de guardar.
140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
The boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and
Llevo la
18
cuenta,
hours.
¿sabes?
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top-secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top-secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more.
Es algo más complicado que
That's
eso.
doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies
¿Cuánta
in
razón
relative terms,
hay en estas
constantly
conversaciones?
changing with the times.
Incluso a día de
As
hoy.
long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a Snake. The Cobra unit. A group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in
Llevamos
handy.
32 minutos y todavía
CQC.
no hemos ni avanzado
Close
nada.
quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Lo sé. Lo sé.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Muy bien. Ahora sí que sí. Vale. Tenemos el micro direccional, una pistola tranquilizadora que es maravilloso, los prismáticos, el puro, la muerte falsa, la pastilla de resucitadora, el sensor antipersonal, que esto es para los más pros, ¿vale? Esto es para los más pros. Es decir, esto vibra al detectar un ser vivo. Es decir, el mando vibra cuando hay alguien cerca y no lo ves. Lo cual es muy útil para la gente que es muy pro. Yo nunca lo usé. El detector de movimiento y el sonar. Detecta animales con ondas de sonido. Esto es para cazar, ¿vale? El detector es lo mismo, más o menos. Te lo pones y detectas lo que hay en movimiento. Así que vamos allá. Zona pantanosa de Dremuchig. A ver qué hay en movimiento por aquí. Detecta algo. No sé el qué. Levántate, Snake, por favor. Uf. Lo siento. Ay. La alergia. Hay cocodrilos por aquí. ¡Hostias! No me acordaba de esto. No me acordaba de esto, pavo. Hostia, tú, que no me acordaba. No me acordaba de este pantano, tío. De que te hundías y te ibas a la mierda. Te ibas a la shit. ¿Cómo se apuntaba? Vale. Ahí lo duermo. Vale, nice. Perfecto. Pasamos de fase al norte de Dremuchig. Y otra cinemática.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Snake, your presence
Y
in
otro
Soviet
codec.
territory is already a violation of international law. You can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the Camo Index. The Camo Index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Vale. Lo tendré en cuenta. Mierda.
HQ, please respond.
What's going on? Respond.
Ya os dije yo.
Something wrong. Support unit, confirm their status.
Ya os dije yo que esto iba a ser muy malo. Vamos a esperar a que se vaya la unidad de soporte. Mira, por ahí se acercan dos. Bueno, ahí hay dos cosas en movimiento. Parece que no viene nadie. Oh, mierda. ¿Se van? Sí, se van. Vale, ahora. No me acordaba de que hay que mantener pulsado. No lo veo. No veo al otro colega. Mierda. Joder, qué mal. Qué mal estoy jugando, tronco. Hace mucho que no juego un Metal Gear. Es la putada. Te duermas, coño. ¿Dónde estáis? Bueno, yo me voy, ¿vale? Joder. ¿Tu puta madre? Hasta luego, ¿eh? Nos vemos. Joder, qué mal estoy jugando, tronco. Es que hace mucho que no toco un Metal Gear. No sabéis cuánto tiempo hace que no toco un Metal Gear. ¿Qué cojones? Nada, nada, nada. Es que aquí hay otra... Hay otra cinemática y no salta, tío, porque estoy en... En evasión. A ver si se quita. ¿Ahora? Sí. Ahora. Nice. Venga, hasta luego. Joder, qué puto asco. Aquí debería haber saltado una cinemática, ¿vale? Uf. El puente cómo se mueve. Por aquí había algo. Si mal no recuerdo. No. No te mates. Mira, XM. La XM16E1. Sujeta a la primera persona. El tener el tipo de disparo un arma nueva. Balas de la MK2. Y pentacemín. Los botones de dirección, mejor, sí. De hecho, así andas súper despacio con el pad analógico. Es mucho mejor. Vale. Ay, la alergia de verdad.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. Security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Pues unos cuantos, Snake. Unos cuantos.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Vale. Me cago en la puta, tío.
What's going on? Respond. There's something wrong. Support unit, confirm their status.
Matadme. Matadme, matadme, matadme. Mátame, mátame, mátame. Mátame, literalmente, mátame. No, me da igual. Mata, mata, mata. Venga, venga, aquí estoy, venga, 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 dispárame. Hasta luego. Joder, tío. Fallamos con una escopeta de feria, tío. Que sí, que estoy muerto, venga, hasta luego. Ponte a dormir pronto, venga. Vale. Una M37, una escopeta. Lagazo de... Vale. Cagar en la puta, tío. ¿Desde dónde? ¿Me estáis disparando? ¿Cabrones? Quita de medio, coño. Dormidito. ¿Dónde está el otro? Falta uno. Cojones, ya. ¿No saltas esto, Snake? Pues no lo saltes. ¡Hala! Se acabó. Pro vida. Para recuperar vida. Vale. No quería entrar, pero... Vamos a ver esta cinemática. Y cuando acabe esta cinemática, bueno, las que vienen, que van a venir unas pocas, acabamos el capítulo de hoy. Ya os digo, van a ser capítulos largos, con Metal Gear.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of GRU. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
Pues ahora vamos a saber quién es.
Extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power.
Ojito con Volgin,
The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts.
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Muy bien. Pues vámonos.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I managed to get past them.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Mierda. Pensé que todavía no íbamos a salir con Sokolov. En plan, lo mira en plan de... ¿Te escondes detrás o...? Sokolov es súper tonto, tío. ¿Qué haces?
Freeze!
Vaya por Dios.
So this is the legendary boss. Huh? We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz.
Huh.
What's a GRU soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
Heh. That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Revolver.
Sokolov is
Ocelot.
Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Al suelo, figura.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
No me acuerdo si tengo que pelear ahora con él ¿O es cinemática solo?
You're not the boss, are you?
Crew operatives!
What is that stance? Huh. That gun.
Ah, no, sí. Esto va a ser cinemática, sí. Perdón.
If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
You're pretty good. Es que es bueno el hijo de puta. La bala que se encasquilló.
Possible. You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do, but testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Bastante bueno.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you all right?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
Oh, joder, no.
I don't like it. Something
Ya
about the
veréis.
whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Vale. Bien. Pues chicos, chicas, vamos a dejar aquí el episodio de hoy, que hemos durado 1 hora y 5 minutos. Es bastante largo, pero los episodios de Metal Gear Solid van a ser así. A lo mejor alguno que otro será de 40 minutos a lo corto, ¿vale? A lo largo será como mucho 1 hora. O 1 hora y 5, como ha durado esto. Así que nada, en el siguiente capítulo pues seguimos directamente desde aquí. Así que chicos, chicas, muchísimas gracias por haber visto este vídeo. Dadle like si os ha gustado, dislike si no, y ya sabéis, si queréis apoyar esta serie, queréis apoyar el canal, tan solo tenéis que darle like a los vídeos, suscribiros, compartir, comentad y activad la campanita de la suscripción para que YouTube os avise de cuando suba un nuevo vídeo. Así que nada más, un saludito a todos y nos vemos en el próximo capítulo de Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Hasta otra, zagales.